I just got an A in chemistry. Man, I'll tell you one thing. My chemistry teacher fucking hated me. And I hated her too. It was a mutual thing. And I remember there would be a test every single week. I would have to name 10 elements. Man, talk about the periodic table. I wasn't even in the room. I didn't know anything about chemistry. I thought we were gonna learn how to make bombs and make Pokemon and shit. And it turns out it's just a bunch of math. Get the fuck out of here. I don't have time for that. I want to go play video games. And I remember I got a 50 in the class because in Texas, you can only get a 50. You can't get any lower than a 50. And I used to I know this because what I would tell myself is that I get a 50. I don't do anything one semester and I get a 90 next semester. I average them out to 70. So I really only have to work half the time and I still pass the class. Like I literally put in 0 work. I still get a 50. So it was the most efficient way of wasting my time in school. Okay, what's a 50? It's like halfway to 100, right? You can't fail. I never failed the class. But I remember I took my final, or it was like my midterm, and I got a 93 on my final or my midterm. I genuinely don't think I got a 93. I think that she put that number in there because she didn't want me to be there next year. I genuinely feel, I think that she just like, I hate him. I hate his friends. I hate everything about them. I never want to see him again. And I said, same, bitch. And I was gone. I remember one time in this was like AP English. My stupid bitch of it. I hated this woman, man. Like, I remember every single class she would cry. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, is this a joke? Like, and her and like her friend, like the other students and like the other girl students in the class that she liked, I think she didn't like guys. Like, I genuinely think she did not fucking like men. And honestly, I don't blame her, but still, I was pissed off. So she was only nice to the girl students, and she was mean to me and my friend Dylan and a few of my other friends, notably because we didn't do anything in class, but also because I think she just fucking hated us. So there was a special assignment. It was a semester-wide assignment. So you started this assignment at the beginning of the year, and you finished it at Christmas. And she said, if you don't do this, you fail the class. You fail the class period. And I was like, wow, that sucks. I guess I'm gonna fail. But here's what happened. I took a look and I saw she accidentally printed out our progress reports and it had the weighted values of each grade and each assignment. And the assignment was only worth 20% of our grade. And I said, bitch, I'm gonna get an 80. And I remember I was the only student in the entire school who didn't turn it in. I didn't, and like everybody was like worried about me. They're like, man, Asmon, we're like, Zach, why didn't you turn it in? I'm like, why would I do that? Why would I turn it in? Why would I do the assignment? They're like, well, you have to. I'm like, says who? Well, says the teacher. I'm like, I don't care what she says. I hate her. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Doesn't she know I'm a level 70 warrior? I'm gonna talk to her. I'm a level 70 warrior. I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, I'm not gonna need to learn how to read. I said, Mom, I don't want to learn the alphabet. I don't want to learn how to read. She's like, why not? I'm like, because in the future, they're going to have shit that'll read for you. And she's like, no, they won't. I'm like, yeah, they will. Like, what do you mean? Have you seen a Super Nintendo? Bro, that shit's real as fuck. And she didn't believe me. Nobody believed me. The teacher, nobody believed me. I was like 7 years old. I said, bitch, I don't need to know how to read. To my teacher, not my mom. Like, most of the teachers that I had in high school and middle school were fucking morons. Like, these were like just fucking, think about it like this. I would outsmart them. Like, they would get outsmarted by 14-year-olds. So if you constantly get outsmarted and outmaneuvered by 14-year-olds, how smart are you really? There are so many teachers that I had were stupid as shit. I had a few smart teachers, absolutely. But many of them, I didn't respect them at all. I thought they were fucking morons. And the ones that I didn't even know, that weren't even my teachers, I had to go and fix their computers. And let me tell you something. If you think that you have a good opinion of a teacher, and then you watch her try to use a printer for like 30 minutes, your opinion is going to go down to 0. Like, because, you know, you'd look up to teachers and be like, oh, wow, these people are adults. You know, they're really smart. They're teaching you what to know. And then you find out that she don't even know how to make a copy whenever there's a button that says copy on there. And she never even thought to even hit the button. That right there, that changes your opinion. There was one time I had to go to a fucking portable. These are like these fucking, I don't know if you guys have these in your schools, but there were like these portables, and basically they were, what do you call it? Like, they're like additions to the school. They're like basically individual like school buildings, like school rooms, but it's just like one room or two rooms, right? Yeah, you guys had them? Okay, yeah, it's basically a trailer classroom, exactly. And anyway, like, so we had one of these portables, and this was basically like the farthest away from the school. So like we had 3 portables out there. The daycare for the high school, the police station for the high school, and then there was this room at the very end. And so guess what the people are that they put in that last room. Those are the clowns, those are the morons. And guess what? We had to go down there and help the ringleader. There's a lady there who had a problem with her printer. And the problem with her printer is that she was trying to print out a dieting book. She couldn't do it because the website was like copyright protected. So I had to copy it over to like a Word document, and then she could print it out. And she was telling me how happy she was that I helped her out. And I go back. Yeah, so she wanted me to print out, fucking illegally pirate a dieting book for her. So I come back to class, and I tell my teacher. I'm like, hey. He's like, yep. Did you get it? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what was the problem? And I explained it to her. I'm like, yeah, she needed a dieting book. And my teacher, you know, he's like fucking 65, 70 years old, Texas dude. And the other thing that he does in the school is he was the one of the assistant football coaches. So this is the kind of guy it is. He comes in with Whataburger every day. He's like, a diet book, huh? And I'm like, yep. He asked me, he's like, did she need it? I said, yeah. He says, good job. You sit down. Can you share some other cool school stories? I remember every single day, all we would do was play Counter-Strike 1.6, man. Like, every single day, we would play CS 1.6, chilling, killing, and having fun, man. It was honestly some of the best times of my whole life. Tell the story of the nuts in the computer. Oh my God, I forgot all about that one. Dude, I haven't told that story in like 3 years. Okay, all right, I'll tell the story. This is 12th grade. Every year, the teacher for the computer maintenance class, because I took computer maintenance every year for fucking high school, and every year we'd have a different teacher, because computer maintenance, if you know how to teach that class, you know how to get a job that pays you $150,000 a year. So who the fuck is gonna sit there for more than 1 year if you can get a private sector job that pays you $150K? So every year we just had some different dude who was in between jobs. And this year we had this guy. He's a really big guy. He's a big, like basically big black guy, right? He's like 6'3", he's about as tall as I am. And he was the nicest guy ever. But on the other side of the classroom, we had the juniors, because I was a senior, we had the juniors. And the juniors, some of them weren't really quite as, they weren't really quite in tune with, you know, computers and things like that. And there was a problem with one of the computers. There was a rattling inside of the computer. We took it apart, and there was nothing loose. And we put it back together, and the rattling was still happening. And nobody could find out what it was. Everybody was wondering. You could hear it in class. It was annoying. And finally, we saw what it was. Is this kid in the class would buy peanuts from the vending machine. And he would open up the CD-ROM. He would click the button in the CD-ROM. And he would put half of the peanut in the CD-ROM. And then he would push the button again. And the CD-ROM would go in, and the peanut would fall in. So he had been feeding the CD-ROM and feeding the computer peanuts. And whenever I explained this to my teacher, I swear to God, like his face got like purple and red. Because I'm like, sir, I would say his name, right? But I'm not going to say his name. I'm like, I figured out what's wrong with the computer. He's like, really? Really, Zach? What is it? He's like, good job. I'm like, okay. So Ernesto, you know how he sits over there in the other room in front of the computer? He's like, yeah. So he had a bag of peanuts. And at this point, you could see, you know, teachers getting mad. And he's like, yeah. So Ernesto kept feeding the CD-ROM peanuts. And I explained how he was doing it, because I watched it happen. And I was actually scared whenever he was this fucking mad. I was like, oh my god. Like, I didn't do this. Like, that's not, don't shoot the messenger. Like, whoa, chill out. Like, I didn't do fucking anything. And I snitched on him? No, because it was funny. I thought it was funny. He was the one getting pissed off. I thought that shit was funny. Just feeding it little peanuts. There you go. This is great. What if Ernesto was watching you right now? I don't think he'd be able to, man. He never knew how to use a computer. Plot twist, Ernesto works for Blizzard now. You know what? That would explain a lot. Tell the napalm story. So I have a friend named Eric. Eric was even crazier than I was. And Eric one time came over to my house to spend the night at my house because, you know, he'd bring his Xbox over, I'd bring my Xbox over, and we'd play Halo 2 and we'd LAN together. And Eric brought over with him a bottle. And inside of that bottle, he had gasoline and styrofoam. And Eric told me that it was napalm. And do you know what that bottle was? It was a prescription bottle for his Ritalin. I don't know how it can be any more poetic than that. So he fucking goes, and Eric is, you know, he's talking about it. We're talking about what we're going to do with the napalm if we're going to blow something up. I thought, oh, that'd be fucking badass, dude. We're like 14 at the time. I'm like, oh, yeah, dude. We're going to light some shit on fire, man. This is going to be badass. And so we were super, super hyped up about this. And a few weeks later, Eric's in art class, and the police show up. And they say, ma'am, we need to speak with Mr. Eric. They escort Eric out of the classroom, and they take him in the police car over to his house, where the bomb squad is waiting at his house. And they surgically remove the napalm that he had made. And the bomb squad told him, hey, we know this shit is fun, but you can't do this anymore. Like, we can't have you making napalm. Like, we get that it's fun, but you can't make bombs, man. Snitched again? He thought it was my mom that snitched on him. And I still think that Eric probably believes that it was my mom, but my mom ain't no snitch, okay? It was definitely not my fucking mom. Was your school a gathering of maniacs? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's about right. The girl that thought you were hot, but we talked to her, her face looked like cookie dough. Oh, shit. Man, that's a fucked up story. Dude, that's fucked up. Okay, so this was the fucking, so this was, I know what day it was. It was December 7th, 2000 and fucking, no, it was December 6th or December 7th, 2010, because it was the day that Cataclysm came out. So the day Cataclysm came out, I had my last final, and it was a final for college algebra. And what I did is there was this girl there, and I thought she was kind of cute. And finally, it was like the last day of class. I'm like, maybe I should talk to this girl. And I had seen her a few times, like, yeah, she's kind of hot, right? And I'd never really seen her up close or anything like that. I just saw her from across the room. And it was a pretty big room. And she went up to the teacher, and the teacher, she had an argument with the teacher, basically. And the argument ended with him taking a sheet of paper that she gave him and putting it in the garbage in front of her. So she walked out of class. I walked out. I said, hey, what's wrong? How you doing? And she explains to me that this is now her third time taking college algebra. And she had turned in her review of the final that was supposed to give us like 10 points or something on it. And the teacher wouldn't accept it because she turned it in late. So I'm talking to her, and I realized that this girl, she was really cute from a distance. Whenever I looked at her up close, yeah, her face looked like it was made out of cookie dough. And I remember thinking to myself, damn, that sucks. And I thought to myself after that, I said to her, damn, that sucks. Wow, that's terrible. I'm really sad for you. She's like, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do right now. I don't know what I'm going to do anymore. And I said, I do. I walked out of that fucking class. I drove home. And I played Cataclysm for the entire winter break. And I never thought about her again. Dodge a bullet? Dodge a grenade. But yeah,
Found a 3-year-old can of Dr. Pepper. Is it still safe to drink?
No, it's like 1 or 2 years. You don't want to drink it until after that. It will like ferment. One time I went to the let me just loot this. I'll tell a story. God damn it! I went down to my convenience store, and they had a giant fucking pallet full of 12 packs that they were selling for $0.25 each. A 12-pack of grape soda sold for $0.25 each. And I said to my boys, I said, yo, we're going to get ourselves some grape drink. We got all of our skateboards, and we stacked them up on our skateboards, and we rode them to the house. All of them, we rode them up the hills, down the hills, all the way to the house. And we were all together in like a little fucking caravan, taking all of our grape soda down back to the house. And the reason why they were selling it for $0.25 for a 12-pack is because that shit was expired by like 3 years. And we cracked that shit open, and we drank it, and it was thick. Like, it was thick, man. It took us 2 more years to drink it all. Because every once in a while, like, because obviously there would be like 2 people in the neighborhood that would come over and they would drink the grape soda, but nobody else wanted the grape fucking soda. It was fucking nasty. And so you would drink one like maybe once every other month or something like that. And it took months and months. And why did she continue to drink it? Because we had nothing else to drink. What else were we gonna drink? Like, my mom was gonna just buy us Dr. Pepper and Pepsi all the time. That shit's expensive. And so we stacked this up in my room and in my backyard. And not my backyard, my garage. And we had water. You loser. Okay, anyway. So, like, that's what I'm saying, right? Beer. Look, we're like 12, okay? Yeah, we stacked these up on our skateboards, and we even tied our skateboards together so we could drag 2 skateboards to bring even more 12 packs back to my house. It took us like 2 or 3 trips to get them all, but we got them all. And it only took us like maybe $10, and we got, I'm not even kidding you guys, like 30 or 40 of these different 12 packs of grape soda. And we drank them all day, every day for like 2 years. I'm not even kidding. Like, it wasn't like every day we'd drink like a bunch, but we had so many people coming over to the house that just over time we drank them all. So anyway, that's why you don't drink expired soda, okay? That's why you don't drink expired soda. That's the point. Is it even legal to sell that? Man, they told us that they'd sell us fireworks and whenever we were like 11.